Hello and welcome to Health Bar Half Full. It's the podcast that makes you feel good about liking games. My name is Randy Fluharty. I am the president of Nintendo. With me, as always, Microsoft CEO Adam McDermott. Adam, how's business?
Oh, booming. Do you see? It's great.
Yeah.
We're buying up more companies.
Our partnership really skyrocketed our stock prices. Ask me anything about stock prices.
A day up?
I don't know. Maybe we should check the news, but if only we had someone else here to check the news on our behalf, because I'm not a news guy, and my last name doesn't rhyme with news. Adam, I don't think your last name rhymes with news.
No.
We're going to need to find someone very specific, if only.
And here at Microsoft, we don't read news, we create news.
You create news. You are the news. So we need someone else to read the Microsoft news. And
this just in.
Wait.
This just in. We have a live breaking report.
What's
the theme song's playing. By God,
oh my
it's
goodness.
Nathan Hughes' theme song.
Is that? Oh my gosh, we didn't think he would return. The crowd is losing it. Yeah, ooh, there's a big
crowd
pop.
goes mild.
No, stop it. I told you before. There's at least one person, if not upwards of 3 people that are very excited that you're here. Because right now, for people that don't know, that is Nathan Hughes. And he is here to give us the Hughes news.
Yeah.
And it's something that we
Hughes
used to do. We used to podcast together, and this is very exciting. We used to do a podcast called Full Health Bar. Stuff's got rough, so it kind of like the health bar has depleted. But we're still here, and we still got some life left. And Nathan, thank you so much for joining us. How's it going?
Yeah. Pleasure to be on with you guys. It's going great. Things have changed since we last spoke. Certainly, we have all gotten a bit wider and a bit more face fuzz.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
You look the same, you idiot.
You still look amazingly handsome. I look more homeless, even though I have more homes now than I did back then. But I look more.
To be fair, I'm projecting. I've gotten a bit wider. You guys look exactly the same since I last spoke to you.
Oh, that's.
I have no hair. What are you on
Did
about?
you had hair. You didn't have hair last time we spoke, didn't you? How long's it been? Has it been 10 years? I genuinely...
It has been 10 years as of 10 and change. We're 10 and counting.
Insert that Robin Williams gif. What year is it? That's me right now.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely... I'm shocked by that.
Yeah,
That's
speaking
crazy.
of that gif, that's kind of how I look right now. Not too far off from that, so yeah.
Not bad. Things have been good. I've moved country. I no longer live in Ireland. I moved to Scotland. And I live in Edinburgh with my partner and our new dog. So, yeah. Things are pretty good. Just a change of scenery was needed, I guess. So we just decided.
All right. Well,
Let's go to Scotland.
There's a lot to unpack there. Number one, what's your dog's name?
My dog's name is Sadie. She's
Sadie.
a Cocker Spaniel, and she is very energetic and crazy. And it's great.
That's awesome.
I like how the 3 of us are a descending amount of seriousness with others. Like Randy has homeowner, wife, children. Nathan has girlfriend, dog, and I have none of that.
And you have success.
I have my video games.
You have us.
Yes,
you should be happy.
Yeah,
with
you
that.
live vicariously through us, and then you get to have all your free time.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Which is something we do not have. So
we tell you these stories, and you just go and complete your platinum journeys as you do. Because those are undertakings upon themselves.
So moving country, and that doesn't mean the same thing as it does for my country. That would be a much bigger change, I'm sure. But I'm sure there are cultural and visual differences that can you describe them for me?
I guess I think I once described Scottish people as Irish people with no self-consciousness, where there's a thing where it's Irish people are very much aware of themselves if they're trying something different. So if an Irish guy goes out with a new hat, he's kind of thinking, I'm going to get slagged for wearing this new hat. Whereas a Scottish person would go out with a new hat and then announce to everyone, I have a new hat, please take please notice this. I need to tell you. But,
why else would you wear a new hat if not to get attention
to be
for
noticed?
it? Yeah,
exactly. But for the most part, I think Irish people and Scottish people are very, very similar. very few differences, if any. But they love a drink. We Irish people love a drink also.
What?
I stop me if you heard this before. Adam, can you corroborate on the story? I'm not too sure if
Irish people.
Yeah,
Irish people. Okay, Irish people don't like to drink. Irish people love to drink.
Whoa!
Oh yeah, we have a slight correction here.
Yeah, the Scots are quite a rowdy bunch.
Yeah,
the accent makes them even funnier. Even sometimes they're not trying to be funny, but the accent makes them funnier. In general, Irish people and Scottish people can bond over one unifying thing, and that is a hatred of the English. So,
yeah, well,
there you go.
That's great. So Nathan, and there's a couple other unifying things. One, for some reason, I draw Irish people. I got you two, and I've got several audience members prominently that follow me for some reason that are very Irish, and I'm not sure.
Oh, I thought you meant you physically.
I was thinking that like you.
I draw in, I attract. I didn't want to say attract.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's his own connotations.
Yeah, Irish people are aroused by me, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
In my mind, I was thinking like charcoal,
yes,
like watercolors. Like I'm drawing.
Yes, like on the
viciously,
Titanic, where one of your breasts are hanging out, and I'm just drawing, Irish people. Yes, no,
exactly.
For some reason, Irish people are drawn to me is a better way to phrase it, and you two are, so you got that going for you. Like I'm apparently a celebrity in Ireland, and also
yes.
I have to ask your opinion on this. How do you feel about the game Croc?
Legend of the Gobbos?
Yes.
This masterpiece?
Oh my.
I told you, Randy.
No.
No, it's one of those games where when you were younger and it was a game you had, so obviously it was the best game ever because it was one of the only games you had for either your birthday or Christmas, and you had to just like sing its praises no matter how shit it actually was. You just had to say, this is the best game I've ever played, and anyone thinks otherwise is stupid, and their opinion is completely wrong. And those values and morals are still with me to this day, even though I know I'm incorrect in that I like.
So
Croc, Legend of
the
the
way
Gobbos.
that it happened was we were doing a PS1 podcast. We were talking about the PlayStation 1 on the last podcast.
Okay.
That was the main topic.
Awesome.
And I asked Adam, hey, you got any PS1 memories? And he's like, yeah, Croc. And he listed off a couple other ones, but Croc was among them. High, like it wasn't. It was one or two. And this was immediately off the backs of one of the community members, one of mine, that said, yeah, I wish Randy would stream Croc. And I'm like, wait a minute. Two people back to back said Croc to me, and I don't know if I've ever even talked to a single soul about Croc in my entire life. Now I'm curious about Croc, and they just announced a remaster of Croc, so I'm like, okay, clearly somebody cares about this thing. And then I streamed Croc, and like 6 Irish people came in and said like Croc is the greatest game.
That's like, what can I say? Being Croc curious gets Irish people on your side.
So you got drinking, Randy, and Croc all going for it's part of your constitution or whatever the equivalent is in Ireland.
That is a Saturday night in and of itself.
Yes.
Let me just say that.
But I don't think many of us actually bought Croc. I think we had the demo disc and just played that over and over again.
Yeah, I think it was always the first level, and it was just the bad controls were just like it just locked into my brain. It's like a step below Tomb Raider, but just
I completed the entirety of it on stream. So if you're
curious,
if you're curious about Croc and every level that's in it, and my reaction to every level that's in it, head on over to youtube.com/RandyFluharty, which you should do anyway. Subscribe, do all that stuff. Join my Discord, tinyurl.com/Randy-Discord. I think it's time, maybe, Nathan, unless you've got some more updates. I'm very happy to hear that you're doing well. But we got business. We got business to take care of.
I'd like to know if Nathan sees himself staying in Scotland for the rest of his life, or would you move to another country, or stay, or maybe return to Ireland?
Come to America.
That's it.
It's great over here.
I see on the news how great it is.
Yeah.
Every day I see how great it is.
It's great again, one might say.
Yeah. Hey, no politics, please. No politics, please.
This isn't politics. It's just
this is fact.
Nothing political here.
Do you know what? I actually, I would have known when I first moved here if I was going to stay, but it's the thing of like the longer I live here, the more I'm kind of enjoying it and finding myself appreciating small things about the country. Kind of similar to like when I lived back home. I was like, I really like living in Ireland, but I, just had to move away because got very expensive. But living in Scotland, it's like, yeah, I see more of myself here than I thought. For now, I'm happy to just stay and just keep seeing where it goes. I've made a good few friends here, and it's been amazing, and it's great going back home as well and seeing my family and friends, and like it's kind of like a best of both worlds at the moment. But for now, yeah, I'm happy to stay in Scotland. Long term, who knows? Could have a little house up in Glasgow or Edinburgh. But yeah, for now, I'm just happy to just keep rolling with a bunch of
educate.
And like you mentioned, sorry, go on, Randy.
Well, I was just gonna say, educate the ignorant American again. How far away is your home from from where you are now?
So if I want to get a plane, it will be like 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy. It's crazy. And I get to fly on a propeller plane, the little tiny like not like a jumbo jet type of plane, like a little dinky sort of thing, a toy plane, if you will. But
so that's what I was going to say to you of when you mentioned going home. It's so easy for you.
Oh, it's crazy.
It takes you less time to go home than it does for me to go from Limerick to Dublin.
Yep, I've said this. I can't like people are sick of hearing me say this, but it takes me less time to fly home than it does for me to get the train from Dublin to Kildare, my hometown. Like planes are amazing. They're just great. Fascinating invention.
One more thing before we can move on to new stuff. You said you mentioned that you appreciate the small things about Edinburgh and living there. What are some of those things?
I think for me, it's like you kind of look around and you notice like, oh, that building over there is over 300 years old and it's still standing tall and is just an impressive bit of architecture. Stuff like that where everything feels lived in a good way, where it's like everything has a bit of longevity to it. Whereas in Ireland, it always felt like something was a bit shorter. It didn't feel like there was like a history to it. Like, to be fair, I'm talking like in terms of towns and stuff like that. In a town in Ireland, you might have a small, like a statue or something dedicated to, like a local legend or something like that. But in Edinburgh, it's just like you can't like walk 2 feet without coming across a piece of history. Like the building we live in now used to be a leather factory from like 300 years ago or 200 years ago, and then it used to be a radio parts factory. So it's like it's been a factory that's just been changed, and then they turned it into flats. And it's like, I feel like in Ireland you wouldn't get that. It would be something that would be a business. It would be like a factory, and then get torn down completely. But here it's like, no, let's take the factory and repurpose it, like keep the building standing but change it around. And that's just something I really appreciated. Like they really do make a point to keep things the same on the outside but change it on the inside, if that makes sense.
That's awesome. You've got buildings that are older than my country, the entirety of it. But we're all young here in America.
In the grand scheme of things, we're all young. We're all young.
In the grand scheme of human history,
33
is young.
Yeah, which most humans can say that, other than the first humans. They could say, relatively speaking. All right.
They're still knocking about.
Yeah, that's great. Nathan, I think we'll move on into Hugh's news, and I think I'm curious about your gaming habits too, and hopefully maybe some of that comes to light during these conversations. But I gave you a list and said, like, you go to town with this relatively short but somewhat impactful and representative of the gaming industry list of news items, and I want you to present them to me however you'd like, in whichever order, priority, importance, however you want to do it. So, Hugh's news.
Hugh's news. Dictated by Randy, read by Nathan. So I think the first one is layoffs. There's been a lot of layoffs. I hate to start on a bad note, but I feel like
gaming positivity podcast. Like we got to get the good stuff.
We got to go down to go up.
Yes,
again.
exactly.
It's like a roller coaster.
Yes.
I guess it's just talking about people are just getting laid off like by the bucket load, as you said. Even ones from like even ones that are employee first, like Iron Galaxy. And I know, Randy, you said you have a story to touch on. Chatting about
it's
Iron
nothing
Galaxy.
crazy, but when I was trying to get into the industry and I was desperate, I actually reached out to Dave Lang, who's the CEO of Iron Galaxy, just and I did this for a lot of developers. I just threw a message out to a bunch of random developers and people like that, and he actually got back to me right away, and he's like, "Hang on, I'm not home, but like, once I get home, I'll send you a message." And we got chatting a little bit, and he gave me some really good advice. So, and I said, "Well, thank you. You didn't have to do that." He's like, "Yeah, I mean, this is important to me, and I'm paying back because a lot of people helped me." And so to hear that they are doing, he is a nice guy. That's what I'm saying. Like, so to hear that even they are doing it, desperate times, right? It's
it sucks. Like, there's like loads of other like noteworthy ones on top of Iron Galaxy, like Crytek, Unity, Ubisoft, BioWare. Like, these are all huge names, and it's just, I just feel like for the past year, even longer, like ever since post-pandemic, it's just been like, oh, layoffs. They're just trying to like crunch everything down, get as much money as they can, that kind of way. But it's rough out there.
Inserting a little positivity to Dave Lang, it's nice to hear that all I know about him is he does those yearly E3 things with Giant Bomb, and he would get drunk as fuck on the couch and be hilarious with him and Jeff Gersman, and there was one other guy who worked at PlayStation for a while before getting fired or something.
Adam Boyes, he stepped down.
Oh no, Adam Boyes, that was it. Sorry, but there was a third guy as well.
Yeah, John Vignacchi.
It was John Vignacchi.
That was it. Yeah, those three guys would hang out on the couch. It would be the end of E3 when all the real stuff is done, and then Jeff Gersman like, and here are the boys. Yep. And they would just get too drunk and too wild, and it was always a great time.
Yes.
Wasn't it a thing that Johnny V gave Dave Lang's phone number away? And then it was like, he was pissed.
I think he tweeted his phone number. And his phone just started buzzing non-stop. And he was like, well, thanks, you just fucked my phone.
Yeah.
Then Johnny V started actually feel really sorry. Actually... But I did go back and rewind and watch the moment, like, Adam Boyes and Dave Lang are talking, and Johnny V is just like,
yes, take this.
And then he kind of pushes send, and he has this smug look on his face. Like, what he's done is just going to be this great joke, this triumphant achievement. And then within 5 minutes, he's like, did you just tweet my fucking phone number?
Yeah. So that's the Giant Bomb stuff is kind of what put him into my brain as like, he seems like a cool guy, but who knows, right? He could just be putting on a show. I don't know. Maybe they're just friends. Like, I didn't really have any expectation outside of, okay, he's someone that seems pretty laid back and somewhat prominent in the game industry. I'm going to take a shot, and just immediately it's just like, oh yeah, no, hang on. Let me get to a place where I can help you. Unbelievable. Super nice guy. That. He actually let one of his employees reach out to me as well to get me more specific advice for like certain disciplines and stuff like that. So I have like an email chain from other people at Iron Galaxy. It's just unbelievable, right? You wouldn't expect he didn't have to do that. And
no, like, that's above and beyond. That's, props to him for that.
So if anyone's curious about all of these corporate evil people laying people off, like, it's not just them. It's real nice actual human beings that are doing it as well. It is the state of the industry. It is, unfortunately for Iron Galaxy, they had a failure of a game that hurts, like, especially right now with I don't even remember the name of that game, the battle royale wrestling game that had a lot of promise that I forgot the name of. Slam City. That would be.
I will tell people that as the CEO of Microsoft, when people email me, I actually do open them. But I open them so they get a notification that I opened them, and then I discard them.
Yes, you get their hopes up, so you can
I
open can crush their dreams.
I open them, they send it. I open it within the first hour. Don't even read it. Bin it.
As the president of Nintendo, whenever I get an email, I just send my lawyers after them. I don't know.
You just have like a Control V, or Control F, a find function for emulator.
Yep, there's
emulation.
There's an auto response that gets sent. It says cease and desist. Whatever you're doing, it doesn't.
Whatever you're doing.
I don't know what you're doing, but you can't do it. And,
I mean, with the way Nintendo do internet stuff, I'm actually surprised you get email and not just like letters.
Well, it's actually it comes off of my. Someone told me it's called email. It actually goes to my pager first, and then I just And then I think
Just
it
take out your
transfers to my
giant-
fax machine, and then I take out my big honking brick cell phone and pull the antenna up, and yes, that's exactly what we do as the president of Nintendo. That is what I do. Yes. So this is a positivity podcast, allegedly. So I want to talk about, and I think talking about Dave Lang is a positive spin. There are good people out there that are trying to help.
Yeah, of course.
But more importantly, I think on the tail end of this, I think it will result in a much needed industry shift. Fortnite came out around the last time we did a podcast together, like a long time ago, and that changed the world forever in somewhat of a negative way, because everyone tried to go after it and couldn't. And now I think this is finally everyone's wake up call to say, like, stop it. You're not going to take Fortnite down. Don't even try.
As well as GTA Online.
Yep, GTA.
Well.
There's a handful of them that's just, they're not going anywhere. There's Call of Duty, there's GTA, there's Minecraft, there's Roblox, and there's Fortnite. And every once in a while you get an Apex Legends where people's like, cool, yeah. And then that kind of goes away too. So it's still there, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not the heavy hitter that those other ones are. And I worked for a company that was exclusively providing services to companies that were trying to take down Fortnite. And guess what? I got laid off. There's a reason for that, right? So, and I think what we're going to see at the other end of these layoffs is these people are going to start rallying together. They're going to start popping up smaller companies. You already see it. Like a lot of people, a handful of years ago, a bunch of people left Blizzard, and each one of them seemingly made a new company. And they're like, we're just going to do small games, the ones we want to make now, as opposed to what we were doing before. And
so do you think it'll create a rise in more indies as well as kind of not AAA games, but AA games?
Yeah, AA. I hate those terms, but yes, I know what you're, and for shorthand, for lack of a better one, AA, mid-ranged games, like the games that take 8 hours to complete, or even 12.
Yeah, I always put the first Hellblade as the prime example.
Heck yeah.
That's AA. That's the perfect scope. That was not a big team.
Yeah.
That was not a 9-year development cycle. They did that within the budget and created something pretty good.
Hi-Fi Rush, also another one that came out recently that was exactly that thing. Awesome. I think we're going to see more of those. I think we're going to see a lot more of those because they have to. They need...
Yeah, like...
Go ahead.
The shift to like shorter, less expensive games, I think, is something that is much more appreciated, because like with these types of games that are just like the popular games, they just feel like they need to be super long. They need to have a super long tail. Be it they're either like an online game where you just have to have incentives to keep coming back, or they're an open world game that like just needs to have so much in it to keep you coming back. But I'm all for games that are short, sweet, to the point, and just are at a fair budget, and everyone who works on it gets their fair pay.
Yeah,
like I think that should be the kind of the next step and the kind of goal.
They get in, they do one thing really well, they get in and get out, they don't overstay their welcome, and it feels like I want to leave on a high note. I don't want to leave a game thinking like, man, I just want to wrap this up. I like those kinds of, and that there was a time where the biggest hits in the world were those, where it's like, okay, I'm going to play through a 6 to 12 hour campaign and be done. I spent 50 to 70, well, more like 50 to 60 at the time, dollars on this 8 to 12 hour campaign. And that was all, that was it. That was all I needed. And I felt good about it.
Like, and then you could go back and play it again and like unlock like extra things, but the same thing is like you're just playing the same game again. Like it's nothing new. It might be a slight twist to it. My favorite go-to is always like Resident Evil 4. It's like how many times would you play that just to get new stuff and just to get like new modes. But
Resident Evil has always been a really good example of that, where even the early ones, like, oh, you can play through the campaign as a different character, and it's going to be slightly different, and the items are going to be placed in different spots and all that stuff. That they've always been really good about that, and I think we're going to see more of that. I think we're going to see more creative ways to extend smaller amounts of content as opposed to just cramming in more content for more money.
Yeah, I guess that's
that I go on, Nathan.
I was just going to say, I think that's kind of why the roguelike has gotten so popular, because it does it really well there and then, where it's like you play a game, you play it for a round, and then if you're done, you're done. You can walk away, or you can go back and go again. Like Hades, excellent game, but I think it's the prime example of just it's something like that done really well, where it's a concept done really well, where it's just like you're playing the game for as much as you want to, but you can walk away after like playing it for 20 minutes and be satisfied, or you can play it for like hours on end.
You were saying it, or Adam?
Yeah, many of these games you mentioned earlier, Nathan, about they're taking so long to just play through. Like I've now done the 3 in a row of Elden Ring, Death Stranding, and currently playing Cyberpunk.
Because you're a sick person.
Yeah, and none of those 3, like Elden Ring, after around 60 hours, and I was still doing mostly story stuff. I was kind of like, okay, we've kind of seen it all now. You can kind of, but there's still another like 30 hours to go, and it did kind of pick back up again towards it. But and then something like Death Stranding somehow maintained my interest for 80 hours, but I played that for 100. I was like, okay. And then Cyberpunk now, I'm like, there's just not enough here for this giant. Now, the campaign itself, you just go linear, I think it's only about 20 hours, but there's so much extra side stuff. But you want to see it all. You want to. You don't want to leave stuff on the table.
Yeah, you feel like compelled.
I miss
to try to see everything.
I miss the days of, like, God of War 1, 2, and 3. That's like a 7-hour game, an 8-hour game, and a 10-hour game. And you feel satisfied afterwards. You went on an adventure, you've had a nice conclusion, nice finish, and you're happy.
I marathoned all of the original God of War games, including the PSP games, in like a weekend. It was awesome.
Wow. That's commitment.
What's your favorite?
2.
That's fair.
Yeah, 2 is,
I think that was when they figured it out. I have a soft spot for 1. I feel like 2 is a really good mix of the 3 got so absurd in a good way, but I think 2 was like a good mix of absurd and slightly dialed back sort of thing. But
I mean, the gold award for best button prompt of all time still goes to God of War 3, where you click the L3 or 3 button to pop God's eyes out. Like, they were just operating on another level with that one. They were like, right, we're actually going to make you do it. Like,
and it actually works contextually, because if you were holding some poor guy, like, you would,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's better than having sex with the analog stick.
I was terrible at that. I failed so many times.
Speak for yourself.
Okay.
The master.
I was excellent at it. I got all those orbs out of those ladies.
This is why he's a wife. See, exactly. You got the girlfriend. This is why he got the wife.
It's the first thing I said to my wife when she's like, "Oh, hi, my name's yeah," and then I said, "Huh!" and then that's when we got down to business.
Nice. Okay, shall we move on to our next story?
Yeah.
There's no pivoting out of that. I'm sorry, I couldn't.
I buttoned it. We're good. Let's do it.
So I think we should talk about Ubisoft, or is it Ubisoft? I always say Ubisoft.
So it's UB, and the reason I know that is because at one point, what's his name? Michel, oh boy, what's
Michel
his name?
Ancel.
Is that his name?
Michel Ancel.
Michel Ancel, the guy that made Rayman and all that stuff. So he did this thing with Yves Guillemot, where he got down on one knee and said, "You be or not you be," and Yves Guillemot said it's "you be." So
wow,
that's how I know.
I feel like that was an E3 cringe.
Yeah, it was. I think it was E3. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
But there you go.
Anyways,
reliable
speaking
source.
Of Ubisoft, yeah, glad we have our facts checked. I guess we'll just talk about the fall of Ubisoft, I suppose. They just can't seem to get a win. Like, I feel like there's been so many games that have come out from them that just haven't stuck. And especially with Assassin's Creed getting pushed back and back and back, it really does feel like all the expectation is on this latest Assassin's Creed that's coming out March, I believe. The feudal Japan one. It may be, yeah. It might get pushed back again. Who knows? But it's just it's funny because I remember years and years ago, like Assassin's Creed was like they were talking about like what will they do next? What's the next thing for Assassin's Creed? And one thing they were adamant was we're not going to do feudal Japan. No way. We have better stories to tell in other time periods. And then Ghost of Tsushima came out and it kind of ate the Ubisoft lunch and was like, oh shit, they did what Ubisoft does, but better and with gorgeous visuals and gameplay. And now they're like, Oh shit! Actually, no. We can do Japan. We can do Japan. Quick! Let's do Japan now. So they've kind of pivoted towards the feudal Japan time period. But I guess in general, I just think that Ubisoft just haven't had a hit
Yeah,
in
so
a good while,
there's a lot here.
or a commercial hit.
I put it there because, we're somewhat older. Ubisoft's a big deal. Like, it's been around a long time. It's gone through eras, and then the mainstream massive company that we know of it today is relatively young, because it wasn't, the heavy hitters when I was growing up. It was like doing weird European stuff that I liked, but they weren't selling tens of millions of copies like Assassin's Creed would go on to do. So it's interesting to see this thing that grew into a titan getting into the spot where it kind of looks like, who knows what it's going to look like this year or next year or whatever. If the next Assassin's Creed is not a smash, and we're talking mega smash hit, who knows what Ubisoft's going to. It's probably Adam. You going to buy Ubisoft after that?
No. But you're right how it was a change, because they had Splinter Cell series. They had what was the other series they had? Far Cry. Far Cry then became a really big deal.
Yeah.
But I'd say around 2007 was the first Assassin's Creed. That was a big hit. And Assassin's Creed 2 was even bigger.
Yep.
That was the moment
huge,
they went from, okay,
huge.
we can do like mid-budget games, mid-sized games, but interesting. And now it's like, okay, we need 1,000 people on a game. We need this development cycle. They've gotten a bit out of hand. And these days, nothing they do interests me at all.
No, neither. In fact, I would say Assassin's Creed is when I liked some Assassin's Creeds to varying degrees, but how I always liked their weirder outputs. I liked Beyond Good and Evil a lot. I love Prince of Persia, Rayman. I really like a lot, and they've done wrong by him. Poor Rayman doesn't get his due.
Mid to late 2000s, they were kicking ass.
They were.
But I guess it just kind of changed a little, where they just became recognized for like having a style of open world game that was a negative. People would always say it has a Ubisoft open world, and everyone would roll their eyes and say, oh, that means I have to collect 1 million flags. I have to climb up something to unlock a portion of the map. Like, these things were, the Ubisoft formula, but I think like people's tastes have just grown past it so quickly because of how many games were made that do exactly that over and over again. That, I just feel like there was a bit of a negative look to Ubisoft open world games, I should say.
Yeah, they bore me to tears. I can't stand it anymore. So even the new ones, when when Valhalla came out and said like, this is going to take you 150 hours, I'm like, no. I don't want to do that for 10 anymore, let alone 15 times that amount. That's absurd. So this new one, like, I have zero interest in right now.
I'm kind of the same. Even the fact that it's a dual protagonist, I'm just like, I don't care, because it's still the same type of game. Like, there's nothing new to it that intrigues me. Like, I'm sure, like, what is it? Like, this could be someone's first Assassin's Creed game. They absolutely love it. But for me, it's like, I've played 1 million of these already. Maybe not even from Ubisoft, from other developers, but it just feels like something I've seen before, which I hate to say. I want it to do well, because I do want Ubisoft to do well, because they do have flashes of brilliant games.
That Prince of Persia from last year was incredible.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. I am someone who does not love Metroidvanias at all. Like, I think they're fine to good. I bounce off them hard, but I think that game was just unbelievably, like, the controls were so tight, and the kind of drip feeding of abilities was really, really well done. And I think that team has moved on, or like they've been reformed into something else in Ubisoft. But I think they did a phenomenal job on it. And I'm just thinking, it's like there is good like art and like ideas for cool games in Ubisoft. It's just getting them out to the surface and letting them breathe, I suppose, but not having so much expectation on it at the same time.
Adam, do you think the Ubisoft formula, the Assassin's Creed style formula at this point, is a curse more than it is a boon? Because that's what Star Wars did, and that was apparently, I don't want to say flop, but it did not meet the expectations of a big budget Star Wars game. Star Wars, what's that game called anyway?
Outlaws.
Star Wars Outlaws. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we're trying to go back over and look at the games Ubisoft had in the past 5 years, and it's Well, they are publishers, that's one thing, but it's surprising how many of them don't have a Wikipedia page.
You could just use the one for Assassin's Creed and then...
Yeah, but also it's like Assassin's Creed is this big albatross. That's when we talk about the Ubisoft former, we're just talking about Assassin's Creed, but it's such a juggernaut.
And then Assassin's
Far
Creed
Cry
bled
6?
into all the other franchises is my point, because
Yeah.
Far Cry turned into that. They had that.
Okay.
What was that? Breath of the Wild, like.
Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, there was that
Yeah.
still had some Assassin's Creed in it. Their driving game, The Crew, felt like an Assassin's Creed game with wheels. The Tom Clancy games feel like Assassin's Creed game. Every single game they make now has that, like, well, if you go here and you take out this outpost, you're gonna if you climb this tower, like the Crew had towers. I'm pretty sure you drive up, like look at vistas and stuff.
I need to check if the Ubisoft HQ is of itself an outpost.
It's a tower.
I feel like they just they love outpost. Yeah, it's a tower. You climb to the top. You use Guillemot's there. He hands you a assassin wrist blade, and you jump off the top into hay.
Yes, there's haystacks around the building, and in order to get in the building to go to work, you have to scale it.
Yeah, I mean
there are handholds everywhere. You just have to.
I mean, it's. I'm sure it's French. They love parkour and all that kind of stuff.
That is what I know about the French. Yes.
So as much as we complain about this, I found that in 2022, Ubisoft said they had their best earnings ever.
Yes, which is true to the post-pandemic extent, followed by the fact that their games are so outrageously expensive that profit-wise, it probably wasn't that big. You know,
they said they had net earnings of over 300 million.
Yes, but
that would be net,
right? So, but we're talking. It's been 2 years and change now. So
they just flopped hard.
They just got this couple big flops. That's back to news story number one. That's the point. You put all your eggs in one basket. If something doesn't hit, then that hurts. And they've had a couple of those now where it's like, well, that didn't hit, and they needed it to.
I think that is the downfall. It's like they're chasing a hit rather than making something just for the sake of making it.
We're all wrong.
We're all wrong.
They actually made more money in 2024. They had net of 600 million.
Then what are they complaining about?
Didn't they fucking release Skull and Bones last year?
They did release Skull and Bones.
That was that had to have been a flop.
Which was both Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They said, "Hey, remember that bit in Assassin's Creed? Let's just make a game out of that." And apparently, you
so
can't
they were striving for 350 million, and they got close to 550.
So then, why are we hearing stories? I believe from them that they are falling short of expectations. Like, I didn't make this up,
but their expectations are like absurdly high.
Like, I literally before we did this podcast, Googled some top news stories of the thing, and Ubisoft's state was among the top listed things. Like, so I just think they're, I don't know, they got to be like shareholder pressure or something. I don't know. And they laid off a whole lot of people. Yeah,
their thing is the stock number has to go up.
Yeah,
which is everybody's thing.
So
I guess that's true.
So if you tell them our expectations are this, and then you're like 5% off it or 10% off it, they're like, oh, this is a terrible. Yeah, but it's still incredibly high.
So what you're saying is that the people that like that formula, formula, but they found all of them. They found all the people that like them.
Yeah.
So I guess the question still remains then, is the formula a curse or a boon? Because if it's not growing, because I didn't play that Star Wars. I like Star Wars just fine. I didn't play that Star Wars game.
Would you say not booning? Between 2022 and 2024, they doubled.
Well, I'm asking you, like, how you feel about that.
Oh, very bored by it. But I also don't play GTA Online or Fortnite or Minecraft.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting pivot to, like, well, now we're confused why they're complaining. We're sitting there.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, they're on death's door. I mean, they laid a whole lot of people off. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, well, you had record profits now. That's interesting.
This is the post-pandemic era. Record profits. Time to slash some salaries.
All right, well, let's get the positive spin on this. Apparently, Ubisoft's not doing that poorly. There's the positive spin.
There you go. Turns out the
Turns
story
out
was
everything
fabricated.
we
They're
said
doing-
that made us sad. Granted, they're not making games I want anymore, but yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're looking back at Ubisoft's catalog, like there are really good flashes of brilliant games.
Yeah.
That Rayman Legends
Raymond.
game and Raymond. I did see a thing before that someone joked that his name is John Rayman, and I was like, oh, that's excellent. But yeah, those side-scrolling Rayman games were incredible. Like, I think they're super fun, super quick to like. They're pick up and play sort of games, and you can go back and like master them if you will. And then that Prince of Persia game from last year, like there are good games like being made at Ubisoft. It's just getting more of them out rather than the things that they're just like, we know this will sell well because it's an established franchise, or it's an Assassin's Creed, it's a Far Cry. We know it'll do okay compared to a new Rayman. But
you're cutting out a little bit, Nathan. You might have a noise pass filter on.
This is probably on Discord, but we got the gist of what you're saying, and it should be on your recording anyway. So the folks won't hear it. But
apologies.
The before people yell at us, and by that I mean the handful of people that are listening and watching and saying like, "Oh, those fools didn't read it." I didn't make this up. I listen to podcasts and read news stories. People are talking about Ubisoft being on death's door. This is not me saying this. So if what Adam saw, which I believe him, what he's saying is correct, and it does track from the expectation point of view. However, like they still have resources, so I'm curious about how like expectations means they don't have enough resources to continue in the way that they're going. If their games are still profiting, how are they close to like shutting down? The expectations matter that much?
I don't know. I'm reading. I'm not a financially literate person. I'm just reading numbers are higher than they were before.
Right,
so.
you have people to figure that out for you.
Yeah.
As Microsoft
it seems
CEO.
like your company is making more money than ever.
Yeah.
But if you're spending more money than ever, maybe.
Yeah, well, either way, I don't want Ubisoft to go anywhere. They still got A, people that work there, which is the most important thing, but B, games that in theory I will like. The Prince of Persia game wasn't that long ago. They can still do it. So
yeah.
I don't necessarily want to play the next Assassin's Creed, but that millions of people are going to. And hey, maybe Shogun Season 2 will come out around the time. It's not going to. Like we would have heard about it by now. But hey, Shogun was a hit. What better time to get back into feudal Japan?
I'm holding out for a new Splinter Cell. I really would like a new.
Did they not confirm a remake of the original Splinter Cell? I'm almost positive that happened. Adam, you're the fact checker boy today. Could you mind checking that out for me?
In the background, I was trying to verify some of your Ubisoft on death's door thing. They have had a reduction in staff by about 10%.
Yeah.
Since 2023.
Which is how many hundreds of people? Because
you'd be shocked by this. They actually had 20,000 staff.
Wow.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
How many do you have at Microsoft?
Yeah, now they have. We have listen. We don't have humans. Okay, we got rid of those a long time ago.
It's for the best. Yeah.
Humans have to sleep, have to take holidays, have family.
Messed up, really.
Boring. Robots and AI is the future.
I just want to give special shout out to Adam's pun of "you be shocked." I thought that was excellent. You know,
pun maybe not intended, but also not avoided either.
Yeah, I got to give credit where it's due. So yeah.
So they've been thank you. They've been laying off staff since like September 2023. So it feels like.
Yeah, I mean everybody kind of has. It's just weird because I'm listening to podcasts where they're saying like, oh, this has got to be hit. It's got to be hit because if not, then Ubisoft's dead. And then
so the stuff that underperformed was we even didn't talk about this. There was an Avatar game that came out,
which was similar to what am I? I'm it's on the tip of my Assassin's Creed.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So they've been and they've had strikes recently.
Do they have a template?
They're on. their free to play game X Defiant. Yeah,
they shut that down. Yeah,
Mhm.
which I thought was
Yeah.
doing reasonably well. That was kind of surprising to me that
Yeah.
they shut that down.
Yes, they've been shutting down and laying off like 100 staff here, 200 there, and they've been doing this for a while. So they are definitely on the down slope, and they probably need a new Far Cry game as soon as possible.
And they got
Mhm.
For Honor still chugging along. Rainbow Six is still chugging along.
Yeah. Like they have those franchises that just are lasting, which is crazy. Like I wouldn't have said For Honor would be a game that has like is still popular, but
For Honor's kind of
those
cool.
numbers.
I will say, I kind
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
For Honor. That's not bad.
I like the idea of it. Yeah, it seems like it's a cool concept, and like from what I've played of it, it's enjoyable. But yeah, it's not something I would like sink so much time in as others would. But yeah, like they have the franchises that like keep people coming back to them.
Well,
Siege as well. That's
Yeah.
another one. That's massive. So
best of luck to you,
Yeah.
Ubisoft. Apologies if we jumped the gun a little bit, but you seem to be very upset with your state. So
I will say they are not happy with when you have about 4 underperforming games in a row with a big budget. That's I can understand the sentiment of like they're not on death's door. They still have 18.
well, I was exaggerating for effect, but yes, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Either way.
But that's the cost cutting. I actually completely forgot the Avatar game came out.
Oh, so did
Oh
I.
my God.
Avatar,
so
the
did
biggest
I.
movie franchise of all time,
Mhm.
had a video game that had real development time, and we just forgot it was released.
How did that do? Maybe there's like a
Oh.
world of I don't know. Maybe a whole bunch of people got super hyped quietly about it. I don't know.
Well, I don't think it rocked the boat.
Let me know in the
shape or form,
comments
but
if you're a big Avatar, whatever the name of that game
yeah,
is, fan.
yeah. All you Navi heads, rise up.
Heck yeah, you tie my ponytail to yours. All right.
Speaking of time ponytails.
Yes, perfect segue.
Let's talk about the Switch 2, which will have no, it won't have ponytail features.
I
But,
mean,
yeah,
we
I'm
don't know.
interested
Maybe.
It's still to be fully unveiled. I
TBD,
guess,
the ponytail status on the Switch 2.
yeah, I guess you wanted to bring up some points about the Switch, Randy. You talking about how it's become a universal console.
It's kind of
Well-
weirdly the place where you can play any type of game now, where it's like,
Mm.
you know, Adam, you're going to be releasing games on my platform.
No. We're putting Game Pass,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's going to have the really shitty versions of our games,
Oh,
and then force people to get an actual Xbox console.
was that in the agreement we signed?
I sent you gum beans in the agreement. I don't read those stuff, and I do not abide by them.
Well,
Okay, my signature means nothing. I'm just going to swindle you out of all I can
well,
get.
right, and it was too long to read all of it on my pager, so I didn't have the chance to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just saw Dear Randy, and it was like,
No,
all
that
right.
sounds good to me. Thank you for the compliment.
Thank you for calling me
yeah,
Dear.
yeah, that was beautiful.
Oh, how kind.
It's weird because we live in this world now where pretty much every publisher is putting games on a single platform, and that's true of like the PC except for Nintendo. The only one that has all of it and Nintendo is the Switch, which I find fascinating. We're gonna have potentially a Halo game on the Switch. I mean, it's rumored, but it seems likely enough, right? We could have some.
Yeah, but you're getting the quick time strategy one. You're not getting the real Halo.
Use Halo Wars.
Halo Wars.
Yeah.
Hell
Oh, sorry, the real time strategy one. Yeah, you're getting that one. We're not giving you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Combat Evolved. You're not getting that.
Oh,
Come on.
darn it!
That'd be
Man,
cool. That'd be cool.
my pager just let me down. I really should have looked further into that.
Yeah. And also the splash screen for the Halo on Nintendo would be like, actually, get Game Pass over on Xbox. Go to Xbox. Nintendo
Yeah.
is lame.
And what's actually happened is that, and could happen, is that they could put Lego Halo, Lego
We're-
Lego.
Lego.
That's hard to say.
Here at
Lego.
Microsoft, we love fucking with the competition.
Because Sony and by that I mean PlayStation put Lego Horizon on the Switch.
Yeah.
They didn't give you a
Yeah.
real Horizon. They gave
No.
you the toy version.
I mean, I think they're just trying things out. They're just seeing like if it sticks, if it works. But I did you guys play that game?
Lord, no. What are
Lego?
you saying?
No.
How dare you?
I don't
How
know.
dare you?
I thought you guys were massive Lego heads. You play all the games.
Is there even a Lego Horizon set, like a toy that you could purchase?
Yeah,
There
you can
is?
get
No.
You can get the. Do you know the figure that is the recon point? You climb and you look.
Oh, you mean like in Assassin's Creed?
Exactly. Yeah, it all loops back. It's like the giraffe sort of creature.
Yeah, I
in
know.
the game.
Yeah, it's got a flat head.
Yeah, it's like a little radar dish. But yeah, you
That's
can
what I
get
call my nephew.
you can get a Lego version of that, which is cool, I guess. But yeah, they do have Lego PlayStation stuff out there, which is cool.
Yeah. So, but then even if we get watered down versions of these games, it's still interesting that I grew up when Sega and Nintendo were killing each other, and then PlayStation came along and wanted to kill both of them, and you would be caught dead seeing a Crash Bandicoot on a Sega or Sonic on a Nintendo or Mario on either one. And it's interesting times we live in now that these games are coming kind of everywhere, and I can see the appeal and the incentive of saying, like, I want the one that can play some kind of version of everything, as well as apparently has a mouse, maybe.
Yeah, that's a weird little feature they had on that video.
Help me play Halo Wars. Yeah, it's all coming back.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You knew, we worked it out. So our people worked it out. They knew that.
Yeah, you don't actually know anything that happens.
I've never been there.
You know this, right?
I've never been there.
I love the idea. You just sit in their meetings. They speak Japanese the whole time, and you go,
"Yeah,
sure."
Yeah, they zoom me into their boardrooms, and I'm just like, "Hang on, gotcha, great."
Yeah.
So I don't know, and we don't have to talk too long about it because I'm probably gonna end up with one at some point because I like Mario and Zelda, and I know Adam, big Zelda guy now. Been cranking along on those platinum journey for Zelda coming soon.
Oh, hey.
He's joking.
You liked it just fine.
Ocarina of Time. It was fine. It showed its age, but in general, I could see the blueprint that it laid out for many games to come.
Yeah, it has its charm. It has its quirks. Yeah,
it's like if you play Half-Life 1, you go, okay, yeah, kind of shit at times, but I can see.
Or Deus Ex, which is what I just streamed, and same thing.
Rough.
Yeah,
but you can
exactly. There's a but in there. There's a big but in there. Lots of them. I like them, and I can't deny it. Yeah. So, are you guys Nintendo people even in the slightest?
I like the Game Boy Pokemon back in the day, but these days most just PlayStation and PC.
I think for me, it's like I have a Switch, and I kind of keep up to date a little bit when a new big Nintendo game comes out. So like your Breath of the Wild, your Tears of the Kingdom.
So Zelda.
But also that last Mario was really good. The Mario Wonder, I believe it was.
Are you sitting down, both of you? I can see that you both are
thank
sitting
you.
down. However, the audience might not, and it's funnier if they don't know if you're sitting down or not. I can confirm that you're sitting down. Super Mario Odyssey came out 8 years ago this year.
Okay, I'm gonna need a minute for that.
Yeah. So.
Ooh.
Where are we at here? Let's get some Mario going here. I know they had that spin-off, that Bowser's Fury, that was a spin-off of the 3D World.
Yeah.
That
was cool.
It is cool, like but it's not. Yeah. It's not the enchilada.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
No, it's a little tasty. Yeah. It's not enough.
In fact, it got me a little antsy because it was too much. Like it was too much and yet not enough. It got me hooked. The first hit was free, and now I'm just like, okay, where's the big stuff? And it's not here, so I'm jonesing.
I think it was frustrating for myself, like seeing Nintendo release DLC for Mario Kart, which Mario Kart is great. Don't get me wrong,
sure.
But for them to go back to an old game and release DLC, I'm just like, why couldn't you have done something for Odyssey. I think they did like a Luigi DLC where you have to collect balloons or something.
They added like a little challenge mode, which is so. Smash Brothers and Mario Kart are kind of outliers in the sense that that's the first time they took DLC seriously for anything.
Yeah.
I guess moving forward, maybe we'll see that stuff. But then again, Tears of the Kingdom never got anything, and they confirmed that they're not going to get anything for it. So, I am kind of disappointed that the only thing we have seen on this Switch 2 is Mario Kart. As if we need another one. People are just going to buy that one again. Maybe it is that one again. In fact, I'll call my people and ask, is that just the same thing again? Are you just putting that back out? Are you doing that again? Is it Mario Kart 82?
They'll answer you in fluent Japanese, so you won't know either way.
That's true.
It's a one-way conversation.
Yesterday, I was streaming my reaction to the State of Play, and when a guy came up and started speaking Japanese, I'm like, oh, I can't hear what he's saying, and I turned up my volume as if that was going to be the difference maker. That was a fun moment. I'm like, oh, he's awfully quiet. Let me adjust my volume so I can hear this language I don't understand. It's really good stuff. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm when they release a Mario and or a big Zelda, or even a small Zelda, if it's exclusive to the Switch. But then again, how do we feel? Do we think some or all of the new games will play on the old one? There's a lot of old ones out there.
No,
you think hard cut off?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything on Switch 2 will not be playable on Switch.
Everything.
1. Well, okay, everything that's first party.
Yeah. So like the next big Mario will be you need a Switch 2 if you're gonna play this thing.
Yeah.
That's fair. What about Mario Kart though?
I would say so because I would hope they're a bit more intelligent than PlayStation.
You don't want like them to hold themselves back by having to support the. And the reality is, people are going to buy a new Switch. Do they really need to? I mean, people that have Switches, some of them have multiple Switches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as in you already just. I know it bugged the shit out of me with PlayStation when we were in like 3 years into PS5, and new first-party games are still on the PS4. It's like, this is just stupid.
Several of the third-party games are still coming to PS4 as of that State of Play yesterday.
See, I understand them because they just want to make the most amount of money. So they want it on as many things as possible. Whereas the first party should be trying to push the new thing and be cutting edge.
Yeah.
I think the thing that gets me with PlayStation is when they release the PS5 version and then say, oh, the PS4 version's coming out 6 months down the line or next year. It's like, it's just a weird sort of production cycle. You would just think they would just put all the effort into PS5 and move on. But I guess, like you said, they just got to get as much as they can.
We're also old, and younger people like into incremental upgrades now. Like they want to buy something and know that the thing is going to run the new stuff in a lot of cases. Yeah. So you got the people that they buy phones and they want to, like, it doesn't matter what model phone I get. I want to be able to play whatever's on the store that I buy and download.
But doesn't that buy into the argument of you should push the new thing?
Does it?
Like we're talking about a
console. I agree with your strategy. I'm saying that I think they are thinking that the audience is going to get mad if they lock away certain content behind certain devices. At some point, you just gotta do it though, right?
But because like the new stuff requires all this extra processing power.
Yeah.
But you can still play all the old stuff on your new thing.
Yeah. It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That's as the head of Nintendo, I'd imagine this. See, the previous guy at Microsoft was an idiot. He was like, this Series S, everything has to be on it. This little thing that's got the computing power of a fridge. Every game has to be playable on it. That was a terrible strategy.
Meanwhile, I've got systems that are about as powerful as a calculator, and it's the biggest selling console ever made.
But you over there have like actual innovative developers.
I'll take your word for it. I can't really understand what they're saying. So.
He can't comment.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the Switch 2. I'm excited to play the new Mario. I'm excited to play the new Zelda. I may not be a Metroid Prime person after going back to that remaster. I hope people don't get mad at me for that, but that's where we're at with it. Any other thing on Nintendo that you guys want to share? Or?
I think I'm just in the era of like pushing for weird games, I think Nintendo really should go for it and just make more bananas shit with their IPs. Like they made a Zelda game where Zelda is the hero. Like, just do more stuff like that. Take their IP and just switch it up.
Yeah,
do something different.
You brought up a good point, because their IPs feel important. They feel special, and like I want to spend the money on that. And I don't want to wait for a sale. I want, because there's not going to be one. I'm just going to have to buy Mario Kart 8 years after it came out for the same price that it was when it came out. And
they saw you coming. Like,
this is an excellent idea. I'm going to copy it.
Yeah, are you writing this down? Or do you have people writing it down? Are they listening?
Yeah, I'm gonna resell Combat Evolved Halo for like $70.
There you go. But that's true though, right? Where those games don't go on sale, so they feel special, and then they sell.
I'm redoing our whole online store tonight. It's all being changed. Price hikes for everything.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. This is Hugh's news after all. Like we're breaking stories.
The greediest company was not Microsoft. It's actually Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, again, I'll have to take your word for it. Okay, who knows what those guys are doing under me?
Well, if you need a tool to help you create assets in a rush, Adam, I've a little ditty you can use. It's called artificial intelligence. Let's get into it. What do you guys think about AI in games?
Great.
Especially as the head of Microsoft, I'm assuming is way into it.
Listen, actual depth and authenticity is overrated.
Yeah.
I just want to I want a conveyor belt of games.
You want the most garbage rather than the best anything. You want just the most.
The most popular crisps in all of America are Doritos, and the most popular drink is Coca-Cola. Those are terrible for you. They're slop, but people hoover them up. So I want to give them more schlop to the pigs, as I say.
And you say the robots can provide schlop that I want.
Robots don't need time off. They don't have family. They don't eat. They don't sleep. They obey me. They don't go on strike. They don't have unions. They don't have rights.
Jeez.
Perfect.
Oh.
Well,
do make a
compelling argument.
Evil.
Yeah.
You kind of
crossed over into supervillain.
Yeah. You crossed the line there very quickly.
What's my company's stance on robots? I should probably look into that.
I just love the idea of Randy once a month asking, like, so what do we do?
So what are we doing?
He's sending back like a 30-page document, all in
Japanese. Like, yep. Keep up the good work, guys. I'm seeing that line graph go that way. So, looking good. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Nintendo has robbed the robot, so you're kind of already ahead of the game. You got the
we're the innovators. We started this whole thing.
Yeah. Hey.
In seriousness, we can ask Nathan. You're first. In seriousness, what do you think?
I think it's something that is the flavor of the month that has just lasted a lot longer than it should. I think it's something that a lot of people in finance talk about and want to promote, saying we use AI to save money, cut cost, and do all the work for cheaper. That's that is essentially what AI is being used for. It's to take human labor and make it as cheap as possible.
Correct.
And I believe that it's not going to have a longevity in a creative field like making video games. I think, yes, it can definitely help. It can make good, people can use it in a good way and save time and save development costs. Totally get that. But I think if you're using it to create the games, to make the art, to give the life to the game, it makes me a bit sick, to be honest. It's not cool. And I think I saw a tweet before. It was talking about we should be using AI to sweep our floors and do the dishes and not paint. Why are we making the AI paint while we sweep the floors?
Yeah, why is the AI doing the fun stuff? That's the part that I'm having a hard time with. It's like, this is the stuff I want to be doing, but I'm stuck doing we got it wrong. We flipped the wrong switch. It was supposed to be the one where they're supposed to be cleaning my floors. They're supposed to be making there's garbage everywhere in this room. Unfortunately, you don't see it. but I do. Where are the robots? Why aren't they taking care of that? It's garbage day. Get out there.
And much like in Futurama, they should all look like Lucy Liu.
Exactly.
Yes, we could.
Or Marilyn
all use a
Monroe.
Lucy Liu bot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, we'd all rather make out with our Monroe bot than do anything.
Yeah, and so
but, yeah,
that's the key distinction here. Is that I think there is a place for a tool such as that. It's very powerful and it does calculations and research and I use it occasionally for brainstorming because it kind of like gives me, it's like a journal that talks back in some ways, right? Which is kind of neat. However, I don't want it to write anything for me. I'm a writer. I write things and I don't want it to do that. I don't want it to, I make games. I don't want it to make my games for me. I find that part fun. Adam, you don't want it to get a platinum trophy and film it. You want to get, well, maybe for Cyberpunk. But that seems to be where we're going, where we're like, everyone's super pumped at the idea that that we can make trash very quickly. I'm not sure why that we're all excited about this, and I've yet to see a compelling argument for it, other than
I saw some movie producer. He was so excited that ChatGPT can throw him out like 7 new movie ideas, and the idea is like, you ask any scriptwriter. They've got 1,000 of them that they've never written down, right? Or a bunch of half-finished manuscripts. Like, if you sit a human down and like, so what ideas do you have? What ideas do I have? Fuck, and, they'll give you 1,000 of stuff.
Also,
I can just clickety-click. Look how good this machine is.
Also, it can only give you pre-existing ideas. Yeah. It can't come up with ideas.
If you ask like any of those AI platforms, like, show me a full glass of wine. They won't be able to show it because everyone who takes pictures and posts it online, they're all like half glass of wine. You never see a glass of wine full. When you ask for that, it has no reference, so can't do it.
Yeah.
Can they show a health bar half full? Would they just show us?
Yeah. I was reading some of those AI companies. They've already scraped all of the internet.
There's nothing left,
and they need more.
We need more internet, guys.
And you need more.
You need more internet.
These data farms their electricity costs are absurd. We got a bunch of data farms in Ireland now, and there's a problem like this is taking a lot of the energy from the grid, and they're kind of getting tax loopholes, and there's a kind of a moral question of taxpayers are funding this. How is this work? Oh no, but they're creating jobs. Yeah, but what type of jobs and how many people? And you kind of try to balance it. Like, is this good or should we be charging them more?
So you're saying
I think that is
we need the. Go ahead, Nathan.
I was just going to say, that is one thing people kind of overlook is the environment impact of it all, where it's like, it takes a lot to run these machines, and that sucks. And unless there's a kind of incentive to, if people are going to use it, they're going to use it. But if there has to be a way to make it more environmentally friendly, otherwise we're pissing in the wind, literally.
It was interesting seeing the NVIDIA cards be announced and say like, they're more powerful in terms of the AI stuff. The graphics capability is going to be about the same, and it's going to take about 100% more power to run.
Cool.
But at least it's cheaper than we thought it was going to be. As in terms of finances, there's the other cost.
Yeah, cheaper for us.
Yes, which was what I care about, and I think Adam over there, like, he's nodding his head. He knows.
Most humans are subhuman from my level.
Plus, I'm pretty sure robots can outlive us in terms of the climate change part, right? Like, they're going to last. So who cares?
Yep. I'm going to get a robot army to fend off the poor and sick and needy.
All right, so evil manipulation.
We've all seen those. We've seen those Boston Dynamics videos. We've seen how capable these robots are. You just run up the stairs really quick. Yeah. Oh, okay, never mind.
I'm loving this character of Adam, just evil dictator, capitalist overlord guy.
It's great. Really. You've gone for it. It's gotten more sinister as the podcast has gone on.
You can tell he's wearing a robe.
I am wearing a robe. I don't need suits anymore. I'm beyond that.
Yeah.
You've got robots to wear your suits.
Yeah.
I guess, is there any positive aspect to AI in games? Can you guys think of a way that it can...
AI upscaling?
Yeah, that's rad. That's very cool. I've got a 4070 Ti Super, which is a fairly powerful card in its own right, but that DLSS thing is pretty cool. Like I can just upscale to any screen that I want, and it pretty much works. And that's not something you could do with it. I mean, that's not. It's generative AI in the sense that it is producing frames and pixels and all that stuff, but it is not creating new content to steal. So
yeah, that's like AI should be the tool.
Yeah. So I think
much like Photoshop or Unreal Engine, it's a tool.
And that's exactly. Like I've used when I'm streaming, I've got this AI noise canceling thing that does a pretty decent job. It's not perfect, but it does all right. It does better than it would if I didn't have it on. So I turn it on, and that's fine. Like I'm not, I don't feel bad about that. There was actually I'm conflicted about this one, but I think it's really cool. There's a mod for World of Warcraft that gives it AI voice acting, and it makes all of the characters talk when they don't normally, and it works surprisingly well. It's again not perfect, but it is someone that has played through that game a good amount, hearing those characters talk.
One thing's in open world. If you have a character on the street and you pass by them and you interact with them and they'll say the same 3 lines. The idea of if all the characters had this massive well of lines that the AI could pull from, and you could I think someone did a demo of this before, but that to me would make something like a GTA or just any open world
Cyberpunk
far more interesting. Yes, no, I'm struggling with Cyberpunk. I might be turning the corner because my eye was pretty fucked up when I was playing it for the last couple of months, and now that I'm looking and feeling a bit better, I might be a bit nicer to Cyberpunk.
You got that new prosthetic
pretty soon.
You went to the Ripper Doc.
You should be wearing an eye patch anyway.
Yeah.
To match your persona.
Yeah. That should be a villain.
Yeah.
What did you think of Cyberpunk, Nathan?
I think it was a decent, I love the world. The world building was excellent. The visuals incredible. I'm a huge fan of Blade Runner, and it really tapped into that vibe. The story kind of lost me big time, and I wasn't a huge fan of Keanu Reeves in it, as much as I like.
Oh, really?
That's surprising.
Yeah, that's surprising to me.
We both say that Keanu Reeves is our favorite part.
Yeah.
No, I think it took a long while for me to warm up to him, and then I'm just thinking this guy is so edgy. He's hurting me when he's on screen. He's
interesting. Interesting.
Yeah,
I thought he was
the edgelord got me.
Well, I don't know. I'm sitting there thinking, I did we say this on air, Adam, or was this us chatting? I don't remember. But where he felt like he was going for it in a way that I did not expect. Where I was thinking oh, this is gonna be Kiefer Sutherland all over again. They're gonna get him in there for 20 minutes, and he's gonna say a couple lines. He's gonna say, "Do it," and then that was gonna be it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The polar opposites.
Oh no, he is a chatty Cathy. He's a talky boy.
Also, I think we discussed this. Some of the lines he actually says quite surprised me. At one point, V and him, they're melding in the brain, whatever. And
Spoilers.
He's sitting in the backseat of her car, and he's like, "You're just coming just like me, except without the massive cock." And I go, Keanu,
Yeah.
watch your mouth, sir.
Don't get me wrong, that's hilarious, but it's just that thing of I always felt like when I was playing it was just this feels like a teenager writing an adult story. Yeah. It's a bit crass, but hey, his performance is excellent. But I just wish the lines he had.
It could have been scaled back a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Dial the cock meter down 10%, please.
Yeah, I mean it was a choice, right? Because Witcher didn't feel that way. I think they did it on purpose to fit the the over the top themes. But I also I don't know. It felt like it fit for me, where it's just I love the flavor that he adds to a lot of the stuff. He'll just show up randomly and comment on something you're doing, and it's great. I really like that.
I think I told Randy before, there's a mission. I was kind of getting not into the missions yet, and then I finally did do a mission. Then it starts quite interesting. And Keanu Reeves' character just appears sitting on top of a vehicle and goes, "Finally, something interesting happening." I was like, "Oh, he's speaking to me."
Yeah. Which is not something you want the game to advertise to you. Oh, you've been just spinning your wheels doing the boring stuff, but now it's about to. But still, I don't know. He was the thing that was keeping me going. But he kind of I did fall off it. I don't know if I'm going to go back or not, but I can sure as heck watch a video of someone getting a platinum trophy about it, though. Microsoft
Hey, I will
CEO.
recommend the DLC for Cyberpunk is well worth your time if you want to jump back.
But
like Idris Elba is really good in that game.
I don't know if yes, I imagine he is good in it. Do I care enough? I don't know to get there, right? Because one, can you start it at any time?
I think you just have to beat the heist at the start, and then you can jump in.
Weird.
Pretty sure.
Okay. Well, I don't know. What do you think, Adam? You're gonna go play the DLC?
Nope.
All right.
I'm gonna spend about like 80 hours in it.
Yeah.
Getting the platinum, and I'm doing all those crimes and stuff now, and there's a lot of them.
You're out of your mind. You're out of mind.
Yeah,
I mean, this is what brings you. This is what brings the boys to the yard, as they say. But this is crazy to me.
Like sometimes when I talk about speak to my family, I was working a lot today, long day. Like, this was a 10-hour day. 3 of it was in Cyberpunk, and they're like, "That's not real work." And I have to say, "Listen, you do 3 hours of those fucking crimes. That is a chore. That is work."
Are there difficulty related trophies? No,
nope. You can play on easy.
Well, then do that. You're doing that. I hope. Are you?
To make it interesting for myself, I was on normal, but now doing all the crimes, I flick down to easy just to get them over.
I was actually on the hardest difficulty because I'm a crazy person.
It's a terrible idea. The whole and there's so many of them are just the same. It's just assault in progress, which is just go there, kill everyone, find a shard, and then go the next bit, kill everyone, find a shard. And even like, okay, this one is organized crime.
Climb a tower.
What will I do? I guess I'll go there and kill everyone and find a shard. Oh, and what's this one? This was crime in progress. Oh, what will I do? Oh, I guess I'll go there and I'll kill everyone. I'll find a shard. It's 150 of the same thing.
We got derailed, but I'm curious because you really like The Witcher 3. I really like The Witcher 3. Nathan, we haven't spoken since The Witcher 3 came out. Really, is it?
Hey.
How are you feeling about The Witcher 3?
Yeah, I really like I had never played any of the previous Witcher games, and I jumped in straight into 3 without knowing anything really,
and it's great.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, the quests were written really well. I liked how you kind of it plays with your expectations really well. Like the Bloody Baron quest is like the one everyone like points to as being a kind of a bit of a fuck you to expectations of a gamer, where you think you do everything right and it turns out, oh, actually that's messed everything up. But yeah, I really like the controls were a bit floaty a little bit. They got better as the game went on through updates, but yeah, I think 3 was a really, really good game.
So,
and
Adam,
I'm excited to see the next one, I guess.
Yeah, Adam, what do you think the key difference is there? Because these are in theory the same people. What's and you can see the DNA of Witcher in Cyberpunk. It's there.
Just a more denser world is what I would say. Because Cyberpunk, you're moving fast.
Yeah,
the city feels empty. Whereas that, you're on a horse and you're in a horse and you're out in the fields, yes, and you're expecting it to be empty. But then you get to a village and it's full of life. So it's easier to make the world feel like you get to Novigrad. Novigrad feels like a real city.
Yeah.
Whereas no part of Cyberpunk feels that dense.
Well, it's because no part of Cyberpunk is that dense.
Yeah. So they'd better scope management, because you could just have it's just trees and a path. They can do that. Whereas if you do it in the city, it's like, why isn't there life on every street corner? So it's hard to match those expectations.
We'll have to revisit this, I think, because...
Then another quick thing is The Witcher 3, I just did quest after quest after quest after quest. And then the kind of final things were going for the platinum, where, okay, there's 3 hours of combat stuff, which is a bit annoying. And then other stuff like, get a Witcher outfit. But I loved... That was the first time doing collectibles. Awesome. I was so excited about. I was like, I want to get... there's a wolf school, and then there's another school. It's I don't want just one. I want 3 or 4 of them. So I was going out my way. I was doing extra stuff outside of the platinum.
Well, and also...
Whereas in Cyberpunk, it's very much these crimes are going to take 10 hours, and it's just awful.
Well, and also in terms of the Witcher school, the gear, the armor, they're little mini dungeons. Like you
Yep.
go through to get them, and there's like journal entries and logs that there's little stories attached to each one of them. It just feels, and I know Cyberpunk has that to some degree. It just feels like less important somehow. I don't know. We'll have to revisit that and really explore that one of these days. But it is fascinating how pretty much the same type of game by the same group of people can hit so differently with just a different coat of paint, different design philosophies. Who knows? Like, but yeah,
I will say I quite like the hacking in Cyberpunk.
yeah. Oh, yeah. The game, the mini game.
Oh, yeah.
Not that. It's in the quick hacks you can use in combat.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
okay,
They're basically
right,
magic
blast their eyes
powers.
and blind them. Yeah.
Mm.
Like that's so cool.
Yeah,
I
they are
got
cool.
the overheat is one thing, and I got the maximum version of that.
Oh,
Regular
nice.
enemies, I can just literally cook them. Just
Yeah.
like boop, and then and you see them all like, oh no, I'm on fire.
And you can
And they
you
just-
can queue them up, which is cool.
Or the fun thing is, you blind them or you disable their weapon, like all that sort of stuff. You can play around with them. I like that.
Have either of you watched the anime, the Cyberpunk
Heard it's good.
Edge Runners? Yeah, it's really, really good. They do a phenomenal job translating that world into an anime, and like you described there, the powers and the cybernetics and stuff. Like they just show the kind of impact of getting like metal grafted to your skin and what that leads to. It's really good. Highly recommend.
When I started playing Cyberpunk, I was actually pretty in right out of the gate, and then I started to lose steam after the side quests started losing me. But when I started playing that, I'm like, maybe I will check out that show. But then as I played longer, I'm like, maybe I'm less interested now. But if you're telling me it's good, I don't know. I still maybe want to get back to it. I'm not sure, but we got to move on, and that's AI for you. There's AI in Cyberpunk.
Hey, there you go.
So there you go.
Yeah,
We could
I guess.
definitely do, once I finish Cyberpunk, we could definitely do an episode of just talking CD Projekt Red.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like they're such a big company. It's like I'm just so interested to see what's next for them, especially after the Cyberpunk kind of redemption, I suppose. That's the best way to describe it.
So it's funny
and
that
then
you
obviously
mentioned
tying
that.
it that we can. Sorry, just tying it that way that we can probably branch off into talking about Ghost in the Shell and Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, hell yeah!
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Just
I've sat up in my chair.
Yeah. We woke Nathan up.
Go on, Randy.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
so
hey,
I was actually thinking that we would have a topic about like good versus bad companies. I think our joke of like evil companies versus good ones versus the Iron Galaxies about what goes into feeling good about a video game company versus not. And CD Projekt Red is actually a good example of where it's been on both sides, where it's like people love that thing and then they very much didn't. And now I think we're somewhere in the middle where we're pretty excited about Witcher 3. They kind of saved Cyberpunk for the most part, but then they
Also, Hello Games would be another one to do.
Yeah.
So that we'll
Absolutely.
table that for next time. Is there anything else, Nathan, you want to discuss?
Yeah, I guess if we have time, we can kind of dip into something speculative talk, I suppose. Considering we were chatting about open world games.
Unfortunately, this is one of those times where you cut out and we missed the key parts of your.
Apologies.
No, that's
apologies.
okay.
I can see my screen being green. I'm like, okay, I'm good to talk. Yeah, I guess you guys want to talk about the next GTA, seeing as we're talking about open world games.
The reason I put that on there is because this is going to be a big cultural event. I think it will contribute to the. We started talking about this segment started with like ramifications of this year, and I think this is going to be an interesting shift where the most expensive game ever made is going to come out, and it will probably make the most amount of money. Yep. What does that throw a wrench into my optimism about companies, or what does the landscape on the other end of GTA 6 look like, and how do you live up to the expectations set by GTA 5 and please the people that have been playing GTA Online for a decade plus?
I don't think it will change the industry as much as GTA Online did, because the potential scale that they're operating at and the legacy they have, almost nothing can touch it. Like, you can't start something new and try. We're going to make something like GTA 6. No, no, no. To make that, you have to make GTA Vice City and San Andreas. And then you have to do 4 and 5 incorporating online. And then you can do. You can't just like start and like we're going to like when people saw Fortnite. As far as like we could do something similar to that. We could definitely do something. I think GTA 6 would be so wildly ambitious that devs would be like, okay, we need 500 million and 1,000 people for multiple years, then we could do something hopefully like it. So I don't think it'll have as much shift in the industry as GTA Online did.
Nathan, I want to hear your opinions while you lean closer to your mic.
I guess for me, I'm kind of looking at it like, is it going to be more like Red Dead 2, where it came out, did really well, amazing story, and then the online kind of petered out? Or is it going to be like GTA 5, where it's just going to be this massive behemoth of a game that focuses all its single player efforts into the online? And preferably, I'd like another Red Dead 2 sort of scenario where they just put all the time and effort into GTA 6 and then maybe just keep that in mind, keep the single player focus and try to do something different for the online, maybe split it off or do something, but I don't really know. Like, I feel like
that's my biggest curiosity point, where what do they do with GTA Online? Does something massive happen because, or do they just say like, this is just going to keep going the way that it's going and we're not even going to touch it?
If I'm a betting man, I'm going to say it's your character flying into the new city and you start afresh. You're fleeing the cops from Los Santos to Vice City.
Yeah. They need a reason for new players to get into GTA Online.
Yeah, I also agree. However, I do see the challenge in that, where people that have been with GTA Online for so long and they have so many resources, do you carry those resources into the next game and just completely break it? Or do you say like, nope, you unfortunately, you got caught. You got caught.
Also, tough toenails.
They'll say we'll still support the original online for the next 10 years. But I imagine by this point, people do want something new. They don't want to, they want that feeling of discovery, that feeling of like, oh, what houses are available? What cars can I get? They want, they want, like, I want to play it again for the first time.
Tell that to the people that have been playing World of Warcraft on the same character for 20 years.
And what became one of the most popular things when they did the reboot, like original World of Warcraft.
Yes, but there's still, they didn't remove the other ones. Like they didn't.
But did you have to start with a new character when doing that?
With the OG one? Yes, you did. And they coexist alongside each other, but they're both getting updates too.
I do think GTA 5 Online will continue,
but
GTA 6 Online is what it will be a brand new thing, and you will start from square one.
I'm with you. I think that's the right answer. And I don't know how this is a me thing, but there are people that just play the same game over and over again for many, many years, and that other than World of Warcraft, which arguably you could say that I've done that with, but they update those, and I have those moments where I stop and do many other things for years and come back for a little bit and do that thing. But I've never played one game consistently, week by week, day after day for many, many years. And there are people out there that do that. And I'm impressed that they're able to do that. But I'm also, I'm curious how they're going to handle transitioning those people over. Because GTA 5 Online is such a massive mainstream success that I'm wondering if there are people that are just not going to want to let go. And
I think that is the case, because like there are people who play GTA Online and have clubs, have like people they meet up with to do races, to just hang out with people, essentially like World of Warcraft. So it is going to be tough for them to move away from that, and I don't think Rockstar are going to provide. I don't think they're going to provide a way to transition nicely. So yeah, I think it's just going to be two separate games, like your GTA 5 Online and your GTA 6 Online.
Okay, I think I got the gist of what you said. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I can. Okay, I apologize.
No, you're good. I think your noise gate on Discord is probably too intense.
Damn, we should have went to Google Meet.
Yeah,
guys.
well, it's only happening such that now where I'm struggling, it works.
Well, you can do it like Nathan. If you just press the gear icon, go to video and voice. There's an input
Yeah, you
sensitivity. It might be auto, like the toggle might be on, so it's set to auto.
Okay.
But I did
But,
get what you're saying for the most part. So, and people listening are going to be very confused when they have every word you have said. Like, why are they so confused? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big GTA guy after 5, especially. I didn't really click with GTA 5. And GTA Online I found to be impenetrable. I did not get in on that. Are either one of you two big GTA 5 / online players?
Never played it.
In general, you've never played it?
Nope.
You've never played 5? Wow.
Nope.
I honestly might not recommend it. But
it's very cynical and not in a fun way.
It's unpleasant.
Like I feel like GTA 4 was cynical and dark, but it had a redeeming factor to it. GTA 5 just feels like just really grim, and like there's like I didn't like any of the characters. I didn't enjoy playing as any of them.
Absolutely not.
I didn't find anything likable about any of them. Like Nico Bellic from GTA 4 is a horrendous human, but he has redeeming factors and he is likable as a character to a certain degree. The characters from GTA 5, I did not like whatsoever.
Yeah, they're pretty much psychopaths. And on top of that, from a gameplay perspective, it was heading in the direction of where Red Dead Redemption 2 ended up, which is not. I didn't love the way that game played, and it was kind of going that way where your characters are really sluggish and they kind of move realistically, and I didn't love that. And also, the biggest thing that I had a hard time with is that their missions were basically. Adam, you and I last episode we talked about Driver and the tutorial for Driver, where you have to perform it to the specification to be able to pass it. That's what every GTA 5 mission felt like to me. Like they're telling me that I'm an actor, and I have to perform my role in this scene, and if I don't, cut. Let's start it again. Like I got so frustrated with if I even look at a different path than where they want me to go, mission failed.
Which is so outside of the original sandbox nature of the series.
Definitely.
Where he's like, okay, I need you to do this thing. How you do it, up to you.
You can see my disappointment in real time. I streamed GTA 3 all the way up through GTA 5 on Twitch. And you can see where when I got to GTA 5, I'm like, I don't like this. I can't stand this. I used to be able to come up with creative ways to solve these missions, and now it's telling me that I have to walk in this exact path, or it's just going to stop the mission and start it over.
There was an interesting thing in GTA 4 where one of the objectives was you have to pick up your date in a vehicle. So I think one of the characters, Michelle, I think it was, you had to pick her up and bring her on a date. Now, for anyone else, they would just get in the car and be like, right, let's go. But for certain players, they would spawn a cheat code and have a boat drop in front of the date. So they would just get into the boat and then be like, oh, you can climb in. But Rockstar must have anticipated this because they had a note coming up, a disclaimer saying a vehicle or a boat does not count as a vehicle in this scenario. So I think they are so locked in terms of like they need people to do exactly as they want that they'll pull the plug if things aren't going their way. If the mission isn't going as they want, they will say, hey, we need you to get back on track here.
Yeah, they clearly had a story to tell, but in GTA 5's case especially, I didn't like the story. So I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that I'm locked into this thing that I don't really like, and I can't take advantage of this massive world you've created and all the tools you've given me to solve these problems. You're telling me I have to do it exactly the way you told me to.
And as well, like to wrap it up, like even the endings of the game lead into that. They have 3 endings and you have to pick one. That is clearly the right option, but if you pick any of the other 2, you get treated to a very poorly made cutscene that just feels badly written and doesn't make sense whatsoever. But again, it's like, well, we're giving you the choice, but it's the wrong choice. Pick this one, the option C, because that's the cool ending. So yeah, I guess Rockstar are all about telling a story, but it has to be the Rockstar way.
So Adam, when can we expect the Grand Theft Auto 5 Platinum Journey?
Never. That online is just...
Wait,
It doesn't make sense for video production.
wait.
Because... What?
Are the trophies tied to online too?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's impossible.
You have to hit like a level 100.
Those aren't.
As an
It's
online
not a
character
separate
or something like that.
series of trophies. That's all part of GTA 5. That's nuts. That's insane.
So I've watched other folks who've gotten the platinum in GTA, and when half your video is talking about grindy, monotonous online trophies, I'm going, that'll be like 2 minutes of my video, but I'm going to spend 70 hours on it because they don't interest me at all.
Yeah.
Like even do these things in Cyberpunk, all the crimes, they're going to be like 30 seconds of the final video.
Well, yeah. And how do you get
we did those,
interesting
they were
video
really-
out of that? If it's just you doing the same thing over and over again, that's weird.
So then with the whole online stuff, anytime it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
just do this, find these 20 things, or do like I think one of them is to fly under 20 different bridges in a. Yeah, just look up a guide and do it. It's like, whoa, I did that.
How?
It's just boring to me.
So when GTA 5 came out, online did not come out with it. But could you have gotten a platinum trophy before GTA Online came out?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me know in
What
the
if they-
comments if you're aware
Yeah.
of the state of the platinum trophy in GTA 5, because if it came out originally on the PS4, correct? 2013 or whatever. Trophies were out by then.
No, PS3.
PS3, you're right. And that there was trophies in there, I imagine, by then, right? The trophies were out by then, which means in theory, the release version had a platinum trophy tied to it. I think they have to, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
I
who
would
knows?
say so.
Yeah.
They probably did something where they updated the trophy.
I would be
database. So it's
furious if I was someone that got the platinum trophy and then they said, well, now you got to play online, sucker.
I could see them doing. You have unlocked the platinum trophy, but it's like 84% out of 100, but you still have the platinum.
Sounds
It's
like
you still have to.
Sounds like a good business idea for Microsoft, though.
There you go.
Just pull the rug out from under the people that have gotten all of the achievements.
Mm.
Yeah. Adam's lost thought. He's thinking about it.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So
He's like,
I don't mind.
So I think is that it? I think that's it for the news. Like mostly optimistic for the most part. We got there, I think. The layoffs are a bummer, but I think, from the ashes rise the phoenix, or whatever the heck the saying is. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, where games maybe take a step back and say, what do we really want to make here? And that'll be refreshing if and when that comes. And then everything else was what it was. Like Ubisoft, good luck to you. AI, good luck to you.
A bunch of...
Yeah. And Switch, keep on switching. That's going to do it for the news segment and probably the podcast, since we only have one segment. Unless Adam looked like he had something he wanted to say. What's up?
No, I was going to do the Hughes News sound effect.
Yeah. Hughes News. Hughes News.
Music to my ears. Oh yeah. I want to get like a chip into like a was it Cameo, one of those things, and get like David Hayter, the Solid Snake voice, to just be like Hughes News.
Yeah, there you go.
I think if we get something like that, that'd be great.
Does he have a cameo? Because if so,
oh yeah,
he
yeah.
has to. I think by law he has to. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll look in that.
Voice like that.
Thank you, gentlemen. Nathan Hughes, especially, for taking time out of your busy life to come and present us with the news, and we'll tag you back in if you're willing at any time. We'd love to have you. Awesome. Adam, thank you, of course, as always. Go check out.
I got some robots to go. Abuse.
Yeah, go check out Windows or whatever the heck's going on in Microsoft, and I will keep chugging away at Nintendo. Adam, you got anything you want to promote yet, or?
Nope.
Okay, just head on over to youtube.com/Adam McDermott. As we now know, you don't need the @ for that, so just go ahead on.
I've got actually youtube.com/Adam McDermott.
And I've got the
Nice.
same /Randy Fluharty, so no @ there. Nathan, you got anything you want to show off? Nothing.
I've got nothing to plug,
All right.
but I will replug you guys and say, hey, you should go check out Randy and Adam
Yes.
on YouTube.
Of course, subscribe, tell a friend, comment, do all the good stuff that makes other people see things. I hate asking, but it's just the way of the world, unfortunately. Thank you, everybody. I think next time we're going to talk about maybe good and bad companies. I'm going to hit that music right now. It's a catchy tune, of course, done by Evan Barth, I believe is his name, or Evan Bath. I really gotta remember if there's an R in that name or not. But thank you very much for that theme song, and we will be back in 2 weeks' time, which is, I believe, some kind of date. You know when it is. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.